Superior is not the largest battery manufacturer, but I have a goal and I have a mission. We will be the best. And you know why I can say that? Because I've got the best people that work here. It's a challenge? Absolutely. Is it easy? No way. But we looked at what really works and what it takes to design and re-engineer, and that's what I meant by superior. It may not be the biggest, don't care to be, but the best we need to be and have to be. We are indeed honored to have Governor Collins with us today for this event. And former Governor Layne Collins has the considerable distinction of being the first and only female governor of Kentucky. Originally a school teacher, Collins has served Kentucky in a variety of roles, including clerk of the Supreme Court, lieutenant governor, president of the state senate, chair of the National Conference of Lieutenant Governors, and CEO of the Kentucky World Trade Center. She currently serves as Ambassador at Large for International Trade with the Kentucky Chamber. Collins also has served as president of St. Catherine College, executive in residence at the University of Louisville School of Business, director of the International Business and Management Center at the University of Kentucky, and is a Harvard University Fellow in the John F. Kennedy School of Government. She was elected Executive Scholar in Residence at Georgetown College, where she developed the Center for Commerce, Language, and Culture. Former Governor Collins earned her bachelor's degree from the University of Kentucky. Please make welcome Governor Layne Collins. Come ahead. Yes. Put the step over there.
That's okay. Oh, I came to the wrong side. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. We're not going to talk ball, except I will say Georgetown College won the NAIA championship last night. So we do have some winners, and we still got teams in the tournaments from various parts of the state. So I'm glad for that. But I'm going to be brief, but obviously I'm talking about something that I love, and that's international, and that's trade. You see, I think Superior Battery has done a tremendous job. I'm a little partial where they are, and I want to support them all I can and encourage people. And I don't have to do much of that because they have been so good that when we have groups of people together, somebody from Superior comes and talks and tells these other companies that are looking to maybe do trade overseas that it can be done. And we share the success story. I know that those of you all from this area are very, very proud. We were just talking at lunch and about the fact that this is not just a group of employees. This is a team. And I'm a firm believer in a team because I know that teams, when they pull together, can get almost anything done and go take up, overcome great odds. You know, Kentucky, in my opinion, and I'm not governor, thank goodness, I try to help them out all I can when I'm asked. I try to stay out of everybody's way. But I love Kentucky, and I was honored to be able to serve Kentucky as governor. Some of you all helped me. Some of you know friends in the communities that helped me, and I appreciate that because that was quite an honor. But I'm still concerned about Kentucky, and Kentucky must grow. We have to grow. We need the money. We need the input from other sources of ideas and involvement and more team members, and we just need to grow. And while I'm not doing reverse investment like I did as governor, where I put an emphasis on bringing jobs to Kentucky, I'm now working on this whole idea of trade, of exporting to other countries. And that's easy for me because the reason I'm so interested is that when I was growing up as a little girl in Baghdad, Kentucky, and I say I'm from Baghdad without the H, okay? My mother took me to church all the time, and they studied missionaries. And so I learned about countries. I learned about the food and the education and the politics and the topography and the geography and everything about other countries. And so working with other countries I like it, and it's comfortable for me. And so as I'm trying to figure out how in my retirement years, which I haven't found yet, but people say, well, you're going to retire, why don't you do this? But what I'm trying to do is to continue to work and to help Kentucky. I know that there are so many countries out there that need the products we have. Kentucky makes good stuff. It's already been said, if it's made in America, it's good stuff. If it's made in Kentucky, it's really good stuff. And so while other countries are receiving money from our government, I like for us to go in there, take a product, improve their quality of life, and bring some of that money back to Kentucky and to the United States of America. And we really have to be aware of that, in my opinion. You know, I tell one story about the fact that you wonder why you're doing what you're doing sometimes, and you wonder how you're being accepted. Well, I had taken a group to China about 5 years ago, and we were in this meeting, and this young Chinese fella came up to me and gave me a card, and I was looking at it because I wanted to pronounce his name correctly. I mean, that's important. And I looked at it, and he says, call me Little Boat. And I said, Little Boat? And he did have Little Boat on his card. And I said, Little Boat? And he said, yeah. I said, well, will you tell me the story? How'd you get your name Little Boat? And he said, oh. And he took off because we were at a dinner. I didn't see him for another 3 days. We were in another town, another location, and all of a sudden, here comes this familiar face. And I said, oh, hi, Little Longboat. And he said, Longboat? And I said, yeah, I know what a longboat is, and your name is Little Boat. I wanted to be sure I could remember your name. I said, are you going to tell me how you got that name? Because I'm thinking, you know, merchant marine type thing, shipbuilding, all kinds of things. Why would he have that name? And he said, well, I'll tell you, Governor. He said, when my mother was expecting me, and he patted his stomach, and he said, when she was about to have me, my grandfather told her that she should give me a special name because I was going to have a special job. I said, okay, and I'm still thinking shipbuilding, I'm thinking all kinds of trade, that kind of thing. And he says, you know, Noah. And I said, you mean Noah and the ark? And he said, yeah. And I said, so what's your job? Because I'm thinking of animals on a ship. He said, because it's going to be my job to see to it that the rest of my family become Christian. Now, I'm thousands of miles away from Kentucky with a group of people, most of whom it's their first trip to China. My first trip to China was in 1984, a long time ago. It's kind of a rough trip now. It was a real rough trip then, okay, in 1984. We did not follow up on the contacts we made in China after I left office, and we could have been about the 7th state in China, the 7th state to have an office. Now we're the 40th, and we're having a hard time getting it settled in because you have to have the right person, just as in Japan we have Zero. If we didn't have Zero, we might not have been nearly as successful as we have been because of Zero, you know that. And so what I'm saying to you is that people are people all over the world. And when I'm talking to you, not you all, because you understand better, but there are people and young people that don't understand. These people are scared like we are. They want to do good things for their families. They want to, they don't want to be embarrassed. They have all the same feelings we have. It's just that they don't speak our language. They don't look like we do, and things like that. We have to inform our people of the opportunities. You know, when I was in office, there was not a whole lot of economic development. I mean, there were not a lot of states doing a lot in it. Once it started breaking, now all of a sudden everybody's doing economic development, and the competition gets tougher and tougher all the time. It's going to be the same thing with the trade situation. And we have to go out and look for opportunities for our companies and for our people. I just want to give you a few facts very quickly. Studies, of course, have shown that exporting companies, particularly small and medium-sized companies, grow twice as fast and pay higher wages on average. Now, we know that Kentucky is not a coastal state. We're not on an ocean and you know, our border state, but we still rank 11th in the nation in exports. And that is because we do have some good promotion. We have good contacts in a number of countries, and the companies that we work with have global vision, which helps. Kentucky's 2010 exports added approximately is that right? $4.7 billion to the Commonwealth's GDP, and created 47,000 jobs. Now that was in 2010. Manufactured products like Superior Battery account for 97% of all Kentucky exports, and of course have helped establish Kentucky. When I was going overseas, I loved going overseas representing Kentucky. Everybody's heard about Kentucky, everybody, okay? I was glad I wasn't representing North Dakota or someplace like that. Okay, it's a little harder sell. But Kentucky, they've all heard of us, and so that made our job a whole lot easier. Kentucky is one of only 11 states to achieve double-digit export growth since 2011. In 2012 alone, nearly $22.1 billion in merchandise was exported from Kentucky. And that's a state record. You all, that ain't pennies. It's a lot of pennies, but it's serious. And I'm here today because I want to encourage people. I want to encourage the ones who are already trading, already exporting, to continue to do that and to grow. But I also want to encourage small and medium-sized and even bigger companies that haven't really put a big emphasis on exporting. I think it's important for our state. I know the potential is fantastic. I know it can be done. I know we can make money. And when a company starts exporting and starts making more product, they get to expand, they get to hire more people, and they do bring more money into our economy. And that's very, very important. With exports to 199 nations, the record represents a 10% growth from 2011. More than double the U.S. average growth of 4.5%. So we're doing something right. And it's all kinds of products. Much of what started the trade in Kentucky, of course, was agricultural products and things, and the manufactured goods. And so there are lots of opportunities for companies. And what we've done is, because I think that I want us to grow fast, I'm not the most patient person in the world, and those who used to work in state government can probably tell you that. I want it done yesterday. Today might be okay, but tomorrow is not good. No, I'm just kidding. But I want us to do things quickly, efficiently, effectively, but most importantly, successfully, okay? And we can do that by everybody pulling together in this team. So you've already heard about the U.S. Commercial Service, and Peggy Pauley is here from I hope everybody's met you, Peggy. She is from the U.S. Commercial Services, and so we're a team with the World Trade, with CAM, the Kentucky Association of Manufacturers, with the state government, with their economic development department in trade, and we're all working together, and we're literally going out through the state, county by county, when we're invited to come in and talk, And we would be happy to come in and talk to any companies that you know of that need a little extra help or a little extra encouragement. It's scary if you haven't tried it before. If you think about the foreign language, you think about that ocean you have to cross, you think about all the government regs. It's hard enough to do business in America. Now you go to another country and you don't understand it, and they've got tariffs and they've got all kinds of requirements, just like Randy told us about, whether it's the what do you call them? Yeah. And the wrappings and the sizes and all these kinds of things. We can help with all those things. And what we'd be happy to do is to sit down with a company and take them step by step on how they can go about doing business in another country. We do have the trip to Canada coming up, and that's exciting. I thought it would be good. We can go to Canada. Most people speak English. We're going to stay in the English part for the most part. And, but we have pre-arranged, tried out meetings and companies for our companies to meet with. So you're not just going in random and have to talk to somebody that nobody knows anything about. And it's one of those things where you don't have to get on a plane and cross the pond, the big one. And I think that this is a time when, if you're doing business in Canada, it's a good time to go up and say thank you. That's another thing we did. I took a trip, a whole group of people back to Japan. We went around to various companies that I knew had good networks out to all of the supply companies that we had. And our purpose was to go and say thank you. And that's what we did. We thanked them for coming to Kentucky, for having faith and confidence, investing in us, and hiring our people. And we just want to thank you. We're not asking for anything else. So for those who are already doing business in Canada, maybe you want to go up and talk to the mother company or one of your supply companies or one of your trading partners of some sort and just say thank you, and maybe even work out a few little blips if there is such a thing or a problem that you might have. And I think this will be, it's a beginning. We're going to be taking trade missions to Korea. We're going to be taking trade missions to Europe. And so there'll be others coming up. We do put together trade missions. For example, we've done missions for just like coal or like healthcare or like environmental. So if it's a company, if it's a particular sector that you want to emphasize, or you know of a company that we need to work with, just let us know about that. But I just again want to say that Superior Battery has done a tremendous job, not only for this area, but for the state of Kentucky. They've created quite a reputation, and that's always good for us to build on, and we're grateful for that. And I hope that you will talk to Peggy today. She's with me today here. I'm here, I'm associated with the chamber, but we're working with all of these other groups, and we can carry the message back. And if there's somebody that you think it would help, I'm concerned because we have companies in Kentucky that if they don't look for other avenues for trade or for their product, they could very well go under in a short period of time. That's just life. That's just business in the world today. And so we want to try to prevent that from happening. So anyway, thank you all for having me. Thank you for allowing me to come, and I hope that you will not hesitate to let us know of somebody that you think we might need to talk to, or you set it up and we'll come back, or come to the World Trade Day, which is going to be in Louisville this year. We'll have dignitaries from about 22 countries, and it's a time when people network and get to know everybody. And World Trade Day will be August the, you remember? You're younger than I am. You're supposed to remember that. Just kidding, of course. World Trade Day, August the 30th. August the 30th. So anyway, thank you. It's good to see you all. It's good to be able to reminisce with you, because some of you have told me some stories from the past, and that's good. And thank you all for all you do, for the contributions you make, the role you play in this community and for the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Governor. In closing, I want to thank everyone once again for taking time out of your busy schedules, come and be with us for this event. We're certainly pleased and honored to have Governor Collins to come down with us, and she's right. There is a lot of people, including the governor, that want to help businesses reach out and reach across the globe and you know, open their minds up a little, diversify. Look at what's out there. You know, there's a great deal of potential. I want to thank our staff for the excellent job they've done in setting everything up. Kirby Stevens, design, and his team. Bill and Julie, I believe. Bill, my other brother Bill, Julie, yeah. But they've done a great job. A lot of this nice literature and everything you've been seeing Kirby has done. Kirby and I go back into the 80s too, but Superlex was, I guess, ahead of its time back then, but it's sure catching on offshore. They like that name, and I'm sure glad it doesn't mean anything, at least in none of the countries we've been, because like GM found out Nova in Spanish was no good. And the Chevy Nova didn't sell well down there. So thank you all so much again, and if there's anything we can do, just please let us know. Thank you. God bless you.